Right? 59 is not a magic number, has no particular reason, that's just how much time he had available. Okay, he spoke to them in Khmer, he recorded, he wrote down all the answers, translated back to English, and returned to the Makararavy. Okay, if you're interested in talking about how we did this and what the methodology is, I can talk to you later, but most people are not terribly interested in the methodology. Alright, where did he go? As you know, most of the work is in this kind of southeastern or border region. When people cross the border, they mostly go into this kind of area, and then subsequently they go further afield, often up to Cambodian in the Korak region, because this is the center of manufacturing. Okay, so the initial pull is to a region, to a border region, and then people tend to move further afield as they gain more knowledge, they gain some language skill and experience, they feel more confident that I can find my own job, there's a job that is available here, but there are many migrants, I go to Bangkok, I go to Thailand. Okay. So we did the interviewing in those regions here, around Bangkok and Thailand, and also some up in what they call the Isan region. Alright then, based on this morning's briefing, it seems that our findings in terms of why or who the people are were quite similar. The respondents were mostly poor, very poor, single and male. Right? More than 90% of respondents were single, and even though their age is over 30, over 40, okay, this seems to be, cannot be a coincidence. In some cases, the respondents themselves decided that they should go to Thailand to earn money for their family. In other cases, the family members told them, you are the ones who must look after your family, it is time for you to go to Thailand. The education comparatively low, as I would expect. Okay? Often it was said, the land that we have for farming does not feed our family, so therefore I have to go to Thailand to earn more money. Many had experience of travelling back and forth across the border, right? It was not just a one-time thing, go work and then come back, finish. They would go, come back, maybe on a seasonal basis, maybe over a course of many years. As they go and come back, they gain more experience about the legal situation in terms of having a passport or some other form of identification and registering for official work in Thailand, and they can choose what level of legality they intend to have. The higher the level of legality, the more expensive it is to them, so there is an incentive to be an unlicensed or undocumented worker. The workplace relation is more difficult if you are undocumented, but you can keep more of the money. And many of the workers that we spoke to found that it was more convenient to work as an illegal or undocumented worker. I would say it was almost nobody. We had one professional person who had some power over the workplace conditions, but the remainder had no power over the workplace conditions. In other words, they work as long as the boss tells them to work. The boss will tell them how much their wages are going to be. The boss will make deductions if there is stock loss or there are some other problems. If the person is off work for sickness, pay is cut, etc., etc. But this is a non-negotiable situation. The workers said that they face discrimination. As I said before, we have a mixed relationship between Thailand and Cambodia. At the moment it's gone from bad to very bad. Next week probably going to get worse and worse. We're going to see what's going to happen. And all around the world there is discrimination against foreigners at one level or another, especially if they're poor foreigners. Okay, we cannot say that Thailand is worse than any other country, because every country is the same. We know my own country, England, that one of the non-talking points about the current election is the discussion of migrant workers. And most people hate migrant workers, which is why politicians never discuss it. So, they compare their situation to Lao workers and Burmese workers. And what they say is, Lao workers are better because Lao and Thai are similar, they can speak the same language, Lao workers can pretend to be Thai. Burmese workers, as they say, Burmese workers have better conditions. Why? Some of them have better skills. This is in the fishing industry, and there are very many Burmese workers, so Burmese workers have workers' associations for handling remittances and other kinds of solidarity in the workplace. Whereas Khmer workers are nearly all isolated for fear of discrimination and because of lack of language skills. We had one example of a guy who worked on a market and his stall was here, and there was another guy over on the far side. They're both Cambodian, but they never speak to each other because they cannot reveal to Thai people that they are Cambodian, or they feel they cannot reveal. Okay, so they feel this isolation. Nearly always they stress the importance of language. People said, when I first came I could not speak Thai, my situation was very bad, now I can speak Thai and things are better. And so the longer you can stick it out, the better your situation tends to become. Generally they want to appear to be Thai. Right? So they hide the fact of where they are from. You cannot hide that. Alright then, so what else do we find? Low wages and low value-added work. The average income per month is between 5,000 and 6,500 pounds. Depending on what kind of work, where it was, and how the Netherlands employer was feeling. These days, $1 is approximately 30 or 32 bucks. Okay, so on average, it's $200 per month. And most workers said, if I stay in Cambodia, I can earn $30 or $45. If I come to Thailand, I can earn $200 per month. So, no matter how bad it is, right, it's still better than being at home. That might be different if we had found married people. Maybe that would be a different situation. But we found nearly all single. Okay, now, whether that's because so many people are single, or because it's something to do with our research. Okay, what do they do with the money? The most common things that people said, right, it's what people said. People say things, they don't always mean what they say, but this is what they call them. 50% of money is remitted, right, from straight back to Cambodia. What usually happens is, if you know somebody who's going back across the border, you give them the money you want to take, and you give them a fee of 10% to take it for you. 30% is kept for themselves, either with the boss or in their own pocket, right, depending how they want to save that money. And 20 or 30%, there's the math there, but 30% they keep, 20% is for living expenses, sometimes 30% living expenses, 20% they keep. Does the money make any difference to their families? It seems to me no. If we compare, for example, Indonesian migrants in Malaysia, Indonesian migrants in Malaysia often have a fixed idea in their head. I will go to Malaysia for 5 years or 6 years, this will be enough money, I can buy a full plot of land, build a house for my family, and our family will be better as a result. In the case of this research, all they were doing is meeting existing debts or bills. Right? Maybe they're helping to pay someone to go to school or university, but the family is not materially better off. They're just surviving because of these remittances. Next, the importance of infrastructure. Okay, nearly everybody goes through the Phoi Phet border control. The road through Phoi Phet, which I've never actually visited, but one day dominates the way that people can move across the border. Whether they are registered, unregistered, documented, undocumented,